Hello and welcome back to SpriteGuard Plays HyperRogue. We are trying to get a Yendor quest going here, and we have had a lot of obstacles. Things are going really crazy in this Crossroads Type 4, and so we're just running into a lot of situations where we're getting chased off when we would really like to be able to get to a certain area. So we're still on the lookout for a hive. And I just got a little bit too focused trying to grab that orb of thorns. I'm starting, getting into this. Every time I start up a new video, I always have to kind of see where I'm at, because I'm actually, not... How do I describe this? It's like recording a video is such a different kind of experience to anything else I do that I kind of don't know what sort of situation I'm in, what sort of mental space I'm going to be in relative to making a video. And now that I'm making it, I'm thinking I'm a little more spaced out than I would like to be, ideally. But still doing fine. I think we're just going to run here. Hive! Here's a hive. We really want to find a hive first, because it's a lot safer to skate along the edge of a hive than it is to skate along the edge of Relia. And I don't know if it's completely true, but it does seem easier to find Relia than the hive. And then once we're in Relia, usually tentacles spawn relatively frequently, though when I want one to spawn, I often find that it doesn't quite go the way I want, and we want to make sure that this ivy is not going to get in our way. And so I'm going to cut it back quite a bit. We might end up actually just taking it all the way down, though these fire cultists are going to try and make that hard for us. But it has enough arms now that it's going to be a little bit easier than if it only had 3 arms. But I'm kind of realizing, this might not be the time, this might not be the day. Oh dear. Chop a tree, kill a ratling. And then here we go. So, okay, so now we have everything we need. Now we can really take this on. I am going to use Alt to try and make it a little bit easier to find the orb that we want. We do have 25 Demon Daisies, so it should be appearing the way that we want it to. And it's going to have a very bright, almost white, actually it might be white. There we go, right there. I don't know if it's white or cyan, but that's where we want it, right there, and it's heading over this way. We have to remember that it is on the tentacle's right-hand side. It's always best to do it based on the tentacle itself, not based on the screen, because the screen's going to rotate as we go along. And we can do this pretty fast if we want to, though we could get into some trouble that way. That was very risky, and so I think that maybe we'll take it a little bit slower, because we almost died right there. Oh no. Okay, so this happens sometimes, that you cross a boundary, and in this case we're crossing into a much more dangerous area, and 57 steps is farther than I am comfortable going. And that is something that actually kills quite a few speedruns. It's not the most common thing to kill a speedrun, but it is one of the few things that can make me just completely give up on a run versus, you know, still trying to finish it out. And there we go. So that's a second one. This is not something that happens really, really commonly. And so to have it happen twice in a row like that is a little bit of a surprise. But I think the worst speedrun I ever had ended up taking half an hour, and most of that on the key part of it. Okay, so that's another thing that can go wrong, is if the tentacle goes over the orb, there's nothing you can do. And so we have now lost 3 orbs to a few of the things that can really make this usually very consistent strategy go sour. And so we want to kite it away from the orb. There we go. So it is kind of in a crook here, but we can get to it. And it is now on the tentacle's left side. And so we want to remember left side relative to the direction that the tentacle is going in. And sometimes I will just completely misjudge that, and I will go to the wrong side. I believe that was part of that 30-minute run, was that I ended up going on the wrong side of the tentacle for one of the, like, 3 or 4 orbs that I tried. I think one of them I had to go past a hive, which ended up making it impossible. And I did see that we actually have to pass 2 hives to get this key. And so you have to be really careful about that. Though this hive will be on, oh dear, 3 hives. Okay. So the game is really just throwing everything at us that it can, really wants to give us a challenge today. And so this, I mean, if I was going to have any series be a finale series, this would be it. The game has been throwing so much stuff at us, and, you know, we've just had so many interesting things happen. I just made it impossible. I think I just made it impossible. Because there's no real way to get around this. We have to go down the tentacle's left side. And there's not really, we can't really go through Cocytus because there's this big body of water that could take a very long time to go around. So this is, you know, this is actually turning out to be one of the, you know, from speedrun point of view, one of the worst Yendor quests I've ever been on. Because we've had, I believe, 3 orbs now go sour. So here I'm going to get it. It's going to be on the tentacle's, I believe, left-hand side? Right-hand side. Right-hand side of the tentacle. And it's going to be quite a ways away because of how that shook out. I want to make sure the tentacle goes far enough away from that hive that we won't aggro. Make sure there's a gap there. Make sure that it can keep up with us without being... And there we go again. Once more into a land, you know, where it's too far away for me to be comfortable, and it's a land that's too dangerous to be comfortable. And I don't know if it's because we have so many lands unlocked, if we just have so many treasures that stuff's spawning more often. Because I haven't had a situation, you know, I haven't had a run where this many of the orbs end up having their key in another land. Most of the speedruns that I play, I get the very first orb that I go for. So this is, you know, this is really surprising and unusual, and it's really fun to see the game putting up a fight and you know, really giving us an interesting challenge. You know, one of the things that this game challenges the most is patience, because of... Okay, so we want to actually lead the tentacle over this way. Make sure that it does not cross the orb. You know, one of the skills that I've really had to develop, I did not remember which side that was on. I think it's on the left side, but I'm not sure. And so you may all be screaming at your monitors right now. But we'll have to see. We'll have to find out. But it's a good kind of patience. You know, this isn't the kind of thing where it's like, oh, it's trying my patience. It's like it's really engaging my patience. You know, one of the skills that I always talk about in this game is the ability to walk away, to say this is not a situation that is worth salvaging, because you know, nothing in this game is unique. You know, you can always find another opportunity. Going very close to a Crossroads 4, which is quite dangerous. Another one over here, but we're getting very close. Alright, so is it left or right? My instinct says left. That's what I think. So we're going to go on its left side, and if this doesn't work out, we'll do it again. We'll have to probably go back around the other side of the tentacle and try that. Or we could just continue, you know, go back to its head and aim for another orb. So let's see, or we could move on and do something else. Now, the orb is very close to the tentacle. It's the closer, there's a pair of orbs, and it's the closer of the two. Aha, and here, if we tried to go back around the other side, we would end up in a nest, which is not really possible to salvage. And so, if it's not on this side of the tentacle, we're going to have to start all over or move on. And I would like to get an Orb of Yendor as part of this series. I feel like that would be a fitting end. And it feels like we've been maybe a little bit too far. Oh, here we go. Hey, we did it! Alright. And so that has given us a bunch of earth, shielding, speed, and storms. Quite a lot of storms. Okay, so let's take all of this and head into the prairie, which is a land where I tend to get killed a lot. And so we're going to use this Orb of Shielding to its absolute limit. And we're going to keep these storms and hold on to them, and we're going to try and now puzzle our way into this next one while watching our amount of storms. And we're going to try and hold... Oh no, I misclicked. Well, never mind on that then. So we have had a good adventure, and in the next episode, I'm actually going to try to take on the prairie, and it's likely to get us killed. This land is one that I'm very bad at. But we're going to give it a shot, and we're going to see what we can do. But for now, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.